We will begin with our candidates for State Representative House District 3, Kelly McDonald, and Representative Cecil Bell, Jr. And according to the ballot, Kelly McDonald is first in ballot order. You might
Testing. Testing.
Kelly, you may begin with a 1-minute opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be here with y'all and to be applying for this job as state representative. I want you to know that I am a Christian. I'm a wife and a mother of 3. I am like every other Republican woman that I know. I have the grit and the grace to lead in Texas and to make it a better place. I want you to know that I'm 100% pro-life. I am going to fight to make sure that our Texas Heartbeat Bill stays strong. I'm also 100% Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment. I have NRA's highest rating that they'll give a non-incumbent. I want you to know that I believe in the Constitution, and I believe that right now in our country we are under attack for our religious liberties and our rights. So in the legislature, I will fight to make sure we do not have vaccine mandates. I will fight for religious liberty, and I will do everything that I can to support the conservatives. Thank you so much for letting us be here.
Representative Bell.
Good evening. Thank you again for being here. We are indeed a nation under attack and a state that needs to stand up. As I stand before you here, I have 100% rating with Texas Right to Life and Texas Alliance for Life. I voted for your Right to Life issues exactly the way you would have me to do it. I've done that since I've been in office. Same holds true. I'm an A+ rated NRA member, also a member of the Whittington Center, founding member of that. Again, endorsed by the NRA. I'm endorsed by Texas Association of Business, PAC, also endorsed by the Texas Realtors, PAC, and others who recognize the need to have experienced legislators available to be certain that when issues come before us, that we have an experienced person with the acumen and the proven capabilities to get the job done. And that's what my commitment is to you today. Is that I will continue to get the job done with your support. Thank you.
Okay. The first question, Ms. McDonald. What do you feel will be the greatest issue facing Texas during the next 4 years, and how should the legislature handle it?
I believe our greatest challenge is property tax. You know, I believe that we have to do something about it, and I think the time is now. I think that there are so many people being taxed out of their homes. Texas has one of the highest property tax in the nation. I think we have to act on that to support our citizens. I believe that we must secure our border. I think that that's our second most highest priority, and I will fight to do that. I believe that since our country is under attack for our religious beliefs and our conservative values, we have to do all that we can. Christians have to step forward and lead. And so that's why I'm so proud to be doing this, is because we're stepping up at the time that our nation needs us. You know, they always say, so goes Texas, so goes the nation. It's so true. So Texans must lead, and that's why I think it's very important to do so. Thank you.
Representative Bell.
So we have more than one issue, but my first issue that I think we need to get in front of is border security. It's an issue that we've taken on. Since I've been there, we've appropriated $800 million to be able to add troops, DPS troops to the border. This last session, we actually went to $3 billion, and in that $3 billion, we continue to support that operation with DPS troops. But we've also added state active duty, National Guard, and State Guard troops to be able to support the enforcement of our laws, not immigration laws. We don't get to do that under the federal laws, but we can enforce our own trespassing laws, criminal trespass laws, and other laws. And so that's what we're doing on the border right now. Additionally, we incorporated the money into the budget to build the wall. So we're down there right now in the process of getting that done. There are other issues that we're also going to have to continue to work on. Issues like property tax, I think they're huge issues. They're way too big to talk about in a 30 seconds or 50 seconds that are left in this conversation. A couple things that we can do that'll help in that issue that I've carried before and I'll carry again. I think we can get them done. The tax appraiser, the chief appraiser should be an elected position. If they're going to have that much influence over you, you should be able to vote for them. They should be accountable to you. If you've ever been to a tax protest, you know that there's not much you can do when you try to protest your tax. You should be able to carry an appraisal written by an appraiser certified and licensed in the state of Texas, and that should be acceptable. It should be the least that you can do. And again, there are other issues I would be happy to talk extensively about those issues with you. And I do believe that you should be defining the issues that come before the legislature. You, the people in this room, not the bureaucrats outside this room, but people in this room. So as you come up with ideas and concerns, be sure and get in touch with us, and we'll work for you.
Okay, Representative Bell, the next question is for you. What do you feel was your greatest accomplishment as state representative?
In the last session or in general?
In general.
Well, so we've got a whole bunch of accomplishments. You know, and since I've been there, we pushed the Second Amendment side hard. In the last session, we actually passed constitutional carry, restoring the rights that were lost in the 1870s. We've been pro-life since we got there. Steve and I came in together. We've been working hard to push those issues. We not only passed the heartbeat bill, we also passed the banning of mail order abortions. We also passed the law that says that when the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade, it is the law in Texas there are no abortions. Those kinds of issues are huge. Again, the border security issue, we've got to continue to stay on that issue. We've got to strengthen that. We've got to move forward with that. Those are all issues that I feel like are big successes. Some bills that I'm particularly proud of. I passed House Bill 842, which is the continuing the ability to have certificated programs in our high schools. So every one of the kids that graduate from your high schools that come out of there with a vet tech or an EMT or an LVN or any of those other recognized plans come from that program. So that didn't exist before. When we all graduated, you could get your degree, you could get your wood shop and other things like that. Today, you can actually leave with the ability to work in an industry you want to be in with a trade certification that came from House Bill 842. Had the big fires. Behind the big fires, we were told during the big fires that they couldn't protect us from liability. Passed a bill that says you can donate your time, energy, or effort as long as it's to an emergency management entity and be protected from liability. Those are a few bills that are, I think, significant that impact each and every one of your lives. There are a lot more, but they're probably not as front and center as what those bills are. A young lady made mention of the fact that it allowed her the bills. Well, I'm out of time. What do you want to talk?
McDonald, had you been state representative, what would you have done differently during Representative Bell's term?
If I would have been state representative in the last session, I would have held the feet of the Democrats to the fire more for walking out on quorum. We know historically that's happened before, but it's not acceptable. The Texas legislature only meets every 2 years. There's no time to waste. And I would have pushed, I know that Representative Toth was trying to have a fourth legislative session to just do that. I was proud of that. I would have supported that. I think it's crucial that we get election integrity right. I know Senate Bill 1 was a great step in that in the right direction. We now are requiring voter ID. I think that that's important. I think the penalties for voter fraud should have been kept a felony. I would have pushed for that. I believe that not a single voter fraud should happen because that's our country that we're talking about. Also, I would have pushed, I appreciate Representative Toth's work to get rid of CRT in our schools. Now that it's always going to be against the law to have CRT taught in our schools. I would push further and make sure that it's out of our colleges. I think that that's the next step because if we really want to protect our children, that's the next step that absolutely needs to be done. I believe that we have good conservative Republicans in office. I'd like to see more, particularly more women. You know, out of 150 legislators, we only have 38 that are women. That's not even a third. And of those 38 women, there's only 7 Republicans. We need to do better than that. So if I would have been in the legislature, I would have been number 8, and I would have really made some action happen. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, rebuttal?
Well, I just want to say that when you look at the House and how it works, you have to know that it takes 76 votes to pass a bill, 76 to kill a bad bill. So when you talk about issues like leadership, absolutely I agree that we should strip chairmanships and other things. That's without a doubt a given. The challenge you get into is unless you can get that done, you can talk about it, but one person, 2 people, we had the numbers. This seat already set there, so you would not see any change in a circumstance like that. What you would see in those instances is a need to learn the rules so that you know how to be able to utilize that overall process, so that when you come into the next session, you'd be able to do the kinds of things that we intend to do and that I think the Republican membership delegation to the House expects to do with regards to those folks who willingly left our state, stood on a national stage and talked bad about our state, talked bad about the very work that in many cases they sat and chaired. So that's unacceptable behavior. I made the statement that they should be arrested, brought to the floor, locked inside, unhandcuffed, and watched to go bug-eyed crazy. It had about 83,000 views. It remains my opinion on how it should have been done. So anyway, just know that. Thank you.
Ms. McDonald, in 1 minute, convince us why you would be the best candidate.
I want to be your state representative because I think action matters. I have a long history of servant leadership in our community. And you know what I've learned over the last year researching what the job of a state representative is? It's not only representing the people and being there for you when you need it, it's when you're in the legislature, we expect you as a legislator to vote conservatively. We expect you to co-sponsor bills and which is signing your name on other conservative bills because that shows your support. But what leadership is actually authoring or joint authoring a bill. So when you author a bill, that means you put it forward from your community and you get it done. When you joint author it, there's only 4, so those people are responsible for getting it done. So leadership that you can expect from me is when I've been in the community finding out what you need, I'm going to bring bills from our community that are going to change the whole state of Texas. That's why I think that you should support me. Thank you so much.
Thank you again for being here. As your incumbent state representative, I just want you to know that I'll continue to work for you. Whether your issue is in the interim where you have a problem with a state agency and you call, we know how to get in front of those agencies and get you representation. Whether that issue is a bill you want to have passed or you want to have killed, again, that process is not something where you can just walk in off the street and pretend like you've been there before and be successful. So it is a process where you benefit from experience, where you benefit from knowing not just your day-to-day aspect of it, but also what the rules are and how to best utilize those rules, and understanding the nature of bills and how you judiciously apply those when you file a bill, whether you go get joints or whether you get co-sponsors and all those kinds of things. All of that is an essential aspect of it. And if you look at the time I've been in the legislature, I've always worked hard to kill bad bills and bring solid conservative legislation bills before you, and I'll continue to do that with your support. Thank you.
Real quick.
Just one last thing. So experience does matter, leadership really matters, and I just wanted to bring to your attention the heartbeat bill that was just passed was from a first-term legislator named Shelby Slauson. You can get it done with leadership as well. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
As y'all move over,